Okay, and we're finally back after a bit of a hiatus this summer, and also my grandfather was sick and he just passed away, so it took a lot of our time out and stuff.
But we're back.
We're back.
We gotta talk boxing because a lot's going on.
Yeah, we have to get back at it, back in the groove.
Yeah,
back in
lots
the groove.
of fights coming up.
So today, actually, we have a guest today, and it's going to be our first guest that we've had on, and because we want to have quality guests, and John Pascal from Montreal, Quebec, we have him on, my former teammate, Olympic teammate, and amateur teammate, and his big victory over Marcus Brown, and how amazing of a feat that was to be 36 years old.
Yeah.
And to win that
WBA interim.
Yeah, WBA. And he won, I think, the WBC silver with that.
Yeah, that's
silver.
right. Yeah,
he had two belts. Yeah.
And he fought great.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna call him up. I'm gonna have him on the phone. We'll talk. We'll see how much time that takes up of our 1 hour. And then if we have some time, we'll go over some of the fights that happened last night with one Francisco Estrada, and what a fighter he is. And then obviously Sergey Kovalev with that big 11th round knockout with a jab too. I think it was more just fatigue for Anthony Yarde not being in a fight of that magnitude ever in his career, even though 18-0 17 KOs.
But he was
the level.
He hurt Kovalev in round 8.
He did.
And then he tried to finish him, and that was a little bit of inexperience because then he was exhausted.
Yeah.
And in the next round, Kovalev came back, and he had nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Okay. I'll give the call.
Yeah.
Let's just see if he answers.
So we want to talk here to Pascal about his last fight and about
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's going on, John Pascal?
All right. No way.
What's up, buddy? How's everything? We're great, man. We're great. We're just here on our podcast right now, doing our podcast, and you're on. Everyone can hear you talking. I'm with Len Green. He's a doctor that's with me. That I'm the boxer. Obviously, he's a boxer, Doc, and the boxer. And he's a big boxing fan too, and a fan of yourself and everything. So
yeah, it's an honor to speak with you as well.
It's a pleasure, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. So John, obviously the first question I gotta ask you, man, like that big victory that you just had over Marcus Brown, and to be 36 years of age and to still win at that level and to be at that level. How did you feel about that fight, John? How do you feel about where you're at right now?
Honestly, I'm very, very happy where I'm at right now. But honestly, it's all about faith and believing in stuff. I got faith. I believe in myself. I put the hard work. I stay disciplined. So I have a lot of determination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of everything. So I'm the proof that if you believe in yourself, even though nobody believes in you, if you do believe in yourself,
I love that, man.
That's
I
it.
love that, bro.
Come back on top.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm very happy.
That's it, man. That's awesome, John. You put yourself right back in the landscape of the light heavyweight division right now. Like, look at the light heavyweight division right now. All the talent in there and all the fights that are possible. It's just the hottest division in boxing right now. John, having said that, man, how do you feel where you are ranked in the light heavyweight division? Like, meaning, how do you feel about your positioning?
But honestly, before that fight, I was not even ranked anymore as a light heavyweight in the top 10 or maybe top 15.
Oh, really?
So I was saying, like, those guys are crazy. They don't even rank me, you know. But one thing that I knew is I knew I was belong there. You know, I knew that I had the talent to be there.
Yeah.
So you know, even though on paper my name was not there, I was telling myself I belong to the elite fighters. So I need to believe in myself. I need to work hard to stay disciplined. And after the fight, my name's gonna be right back on top. And that's exactly what happened. I did my job, and my name is right back on top right now.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, Jean,
that's awesome.
In the 4th and 7th round, you connected with a nice tight right and knocked him down twice. I think 3 times ultimately.
Yeah.
Did you see tape of him beforehand and you saw that he was open for that, or was that something you figured out as you went along?
Well, honestly, the main game plan was to make him fight, because I know that he's younger, he's fast, so probably he's gonna have more energy than me. So he's gonna try to box me, to outbox me. But me, I knew that I have more experience than him. I knew that if I was able to make him fight and not run like a chicken, I'm gonna have a chance. So I know that Stéphane Larouche, my coach, was telling me, Jean, it doesn't matter if we lose the first 3 rounds. But from the 4th round, we need to start pressure him, and then as the round goes, I'm gonna have better chance to win and to connect him. And this is exactly what I did.
Beautiful.
From
That's
the 4th round, I started to pressure, and I caught him in the 4th round, and I knew that I was able to hurt him and be able to stop him, later on.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's great, John. We're so proud of you. I messaged Russ Amber right away. I'm like, hey Russ, John just won. He just beat Marcus Brown. Being the southpaw, Marcus Brown wasn't tall. Yeah, you had a great game plan by Stéphane Larouche that really was a great game plan for somebody that style of fighting, that kind of fighter.
Also, I love to fight southpaws. Most of the orthodox boxers doesn't like to fight southpaws.
Yeah.
But me, I love to fight southpaws.
You love that right hand. Yeah.
Better angles as well.
Yeah.
So, when I fight a southpaw or I spar a southpaw, I'm always good. And at the end of the day, I knew that I was still undefeated versus southpaws. Because I'd probably be 4 southpaws. And I have 4 wins. So I said, man, this is it. That's gonna be my night. That's gonna be my fight. And after that, I'm still gonna be undefeated versus southpaws.
That's awesome, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I wanted to ask you a question, how you brought Troy Ross into your camp and his cousin Chris, and obviously Troy being one of the best southpaw boxers that we've ever seen around. Is that why you brought him in, to help him with the expertise of fighting?
Yeah, definitely. Troy Ross was like a role model for me when I was amateur. I was seeing him in the national team.
That's so true, man.
And also you, Andrew, I remember back in 1999, you guys were getting ready for the Pan Am Games in Winnipeg, and me, I was still junior, but I was on the junior national team, and I came in training camp with you guys.
Yeah.
So that days give me the edge on the other boxers when I was amateur, because I was sparring with you. I was seeing the seniors. So I said, you know what? Troy is a smart fighter, he's a smart guy, he's southpaw. He knows how a southpaw thinks. So that would be a good idea to bring him to camp to help me out.
Good.
And Troy said yes. That was a pleasure for him.
Yeah.
So that was a great ad.
Great move.
For that victory.
That's awesome, John. So what are you gonna do? Was that specifically just for that fight? Are you gonna keep Troy with you in camp?
Yeah, definitely. Now Troy is part of the team. We talk on the phone, and I'm gonna be back in the gym tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm back in the gym, and he's gonna probably come down soon, and probably I'm gonna go to Toronto probably to train a bit with him as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I gotta check you out then, man. We can do some footage of you training.
Yeah, that would be good. So now Destroy is a full patch of Pascal.
Oh,
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a nice. I've met him a couple times. He's a nice guy too.
Yeah, Troy's one of the best guys out there. 2 times he should have been world champion. 2 times he got those
Steve Cunningham,
controversial rubbish stuff that happened to him.
Yeah.
But hey, John. So, anyways, because I'm obviously a huge fan of boxing too, right? And I'm obviously being a boxer as well, but I'm really interested in other things like one thing is okay, so after this fight, right? So those guys that are out there, who's gonna be your next guy? Who are you gunning for right now?
But honestly, right now I don't really think about it because I'm on vacation. But tomorrow I'm back in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I heard that Canelo wants to move up to 165 now. So
Yeah, I heard that too.
If he wants to test the water at 165, I can be a good candidate for him.
Because Kovalev, he fought yesterday too.
Yeah.
Do you watch fights like the other fighters?
Course,
Yeah.
I'm a boxer,
Yeah.
boxing fans,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
What did you think of the Anthony Yard Kovalev fight
Honestly, Anthony Rod almost stopped Kovalev. It was maybe
in the 8th?
2 or 3 punches away to stop Kovalev.
Yeah, that's
But,
what.
he's a hungry fighter. He's a good fighter, but we saw the lack of experience.
Right.
That's why he didn't stop Kovalev because of the lack of experience. And Kovalev was able to come back because he had more experience than Anthony Yard.
Yeah,
Good point.
Yeah. He's been in those situations before
Exactly.
that top fights like that.
Yeah.
But so what do you with your fights with Kovalev? Because you fought him twice. How do you rank him? How do you rate him in the light heavyweight in the light heavyweight division?
So when I fought Kovalev was at his peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
fight the best version ever.
Definitely.
Right. That's true. He's in his prime.
He lost a few fights. He's not as hungry than he was, but he does have some gas in the tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he survives off that.
Right now, I think he's still in the top 5 in the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he relies a lot on that power jab he's got now. He threw a lot of it in this last fight.
Yeah, but he has long arm,
Yeah.
long reach.
He's got that
He
reach,
has a good
right?
punch as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he has a terrific jab.
Yeah,
True.
he does. John, so another question, okay? So being 36 years of age, what keeps you motivated to keep striving to be the best? We know it gets harder when you're older. Your body, injuries that you used to have are coming back, and they're taking forever to go away. And so how do you feel, man?
Striving to be the best, it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle, and also my mom taught me that anything that you can do once, you can do it twice. So
I like that.
Once, so if I did it once, I can do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
That's what I was trying to do. So that's why I was believing myself, and I was trying to make it see it's possible.
Yeah.
And when you see other guys that have done it late in life, like Foreman and Pacquiao now, and Hopkins, is that a?
Tiger Woods as well. It's supposed to be a lot.
Oh,
Tiger
yeah.
Woods is back on top now.
Yep.
He's getting older. He
Yep.
had injuries,
Right.
dropping his life.
Yeah.
He came back on top. So that was another motivation as well.
That's
Awesome.
true, man. That's true.
German,
Yeah.
and I said, if Pacquiao did it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that
no doubt.
You, right?
You look good in that fight too. You look strong. You look right on.
You took it too, Marcus Brown. Oh, in the Kovalev fight? Sorry, yeah. He looked. Pascal's. John, I remember your one fight with Carl. Your fight with Carl Froch in England.
That was an amazing.
And that's
fight.
like one of my favorite fights of all time because I couldn't even believe like the punches that you guys were throwing, and you guys were still standing there, and it was a great fight. And that was young. You were young then too, and to take. I love.
That was a terrific fight there. I think that's one of the best fights I got 16.
Yeah.
So have you changed your training approach now, as far as now that you're 36?
Yeah, definitely. Now, rest is part of the training.
Yeah.
You know? So when you're young, you can train a lot. You can train more often.
Yeah.
You don't need too much breaks, holidays, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you need to shorten the training. Instead to train like 2 hours, you do 1 good hour or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Instead to train like 6 days a week twice.
Yeah.
Like maybe 4, 5 days a week twice.
Smart.
So definitely, and also I eat better.
Yeah.
I eat healthy.
That's what you gotta do, right?
I change a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you always have all your camps are in Montreal? Like when, cause I know you used to go at the training camp, right?
Yeah.
So, but now you're just doing them in Montreal with.
No. I was in camp. My camp, I stayed like 8 weeks away. I was in camp in Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I sparred with Chad Dawson.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
nice.
sparred with Dawson, Chad.
Yeah.
I sparred with Charles Foster. He's a young prospect. It's pretty good. So I had a great camp.
Oh, that's great camp, eh?
And I had great sparring partners.
Damn, you were ready, eh? You were ready. You didn't leave no stone unturned.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
So back in the
That's
gym.
why, I want to get back in the gym as soon as possible because when you stay ready, you don't need to get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true, eh? That's it, exactly.
Stay at a high level the whole time instead of roller coastering it.
So, John, obviously, Mark Ramsey, like, he was my coach when I fought pro there in Montreal, too. And he was your he was your coach for a while, too, and especially as an amateur and stuff. What was it like? That when I found out from Mark, I'm like, hey, how's Jean doing? He's like, I don't really speak to him anymore and stuff. Is that something you want to comment on? You don't have to, man. Just how was your?
Mark, so we're still cool. We still talk a little bit. We text each other.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Okay,
but
good.
that was just a business career move to change coaches because I've been with Mark for so long. I've been with Mark since my amateur days.
Yeah.
So there was nothing personal. So that's why. That's why he's giving me some tips.
Yeah.
And we do talk, but not as often.
Right. Okay, good. Awesome. So would you have?
Well, I think so. What would be ideal as far as timing goes for your next fight?
Honestly, I would try to come back this year, probably for December, November. That would be nice. But like I said, I'm not sure. Nothing is sure. Anything for sure right now. I'm gonna leave that to my boxing advisor, Greg Dion.
Yeah.
He's a great advisor. He's a great boxing advisor.
Okay.
But the target would be like December.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sean. So I know Roy Jones. He was your favorite fighter, eh, of all time? Yeah, because I remember you used to love Roy Jones.
Trained him for the first.
And then that's what I wanted to ask you. So how was it like training, having Roy Jones as your trainer when you had him?
That was like a dream come true. That was my idol. That was my mentor. And now you see your idol training you.
Oh man,
yeah, that's great.
Dream come true.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was very fun. I'm still close with Roy. He texted me this morning because he was in Russia for the Cumberland fight.
Okay.
He was a special guest over there.
Oh yeah.
Because he's very known.
They gave him They gave him citizenship there in.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
He's a black Russian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that. Remember that guy Saliki? That was his nickname, eh? The Black Russian.
Black Russian.
Yeah.
Jean. So. In your amateur career, okay, just going back a little bit, your amateur career, and I think for you, going to the Olympics, but your Commonwealth Games gold medal, that was pretty big too. What do you think? What was your biggest amateur moment?
Honestly, I think it's the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth Games because that was my second big games ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought in the final against a British guy in England.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't it?
That was Paul Smith.
Paul Smith. Yeah.
Wow.
Paul
He
Smith.
tried to rob me, but I won the fight.
Yeah.
That was one of my greatest moments.
Yeah. That was big, man.
That's awesome.
We killed there, eh? At the Commonwealth Games that year.
Yeah. Jason Douglas got the goal as well.
Yeah.
I got the goal.
Yeah.
I think you had.
I got robbed in the finals, man. Like on comeback. Yeah.
Michael Walchuk got a brown.
Oh yeah. Walchuk.
So Walchuk. Yeah, we had a good game.
That was we had a good team. We always do good at the Commonwealth Games. Canada does.
Yeah.
John, okay, I got one of the best amateur fights I've ever seen, man. Was your fight with Adonis at the Nationals? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, of course.
Was that the only time you guys fought?
We fought twice. We fought once in Montreal the first time.
Yeah.
At the National, and then the box-off, that made him again at the box-off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a box-off. I remember because, 50 Cent just came out then, and they had Wankster, that song, and you both came out to different 50 Cent songs. Yeah. That was so hype, man. It was so hype. I love facts. Yeah, I love that your interview there right after the fight, and now you're like Canada. We have Toronto Rock. Best rapper in the game.
And now I'm bringing the best back into Canada.
I love that. I think the girl interviewing you, the American, she didn't know what to say. It was beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the first time an American has not had a comment.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Fast,
I love
man.
it.
Hey, John, remember that one time you had that exhibition or whatever with that Steve Bossy guy? What was that all about?
But that was just the crossover fight, UFC versus boxing versus UFC.
Oh.
He challenged me, and me, I don't go away when someone wants to challenge
really,
me.
eh?
But in my mind, I couldn't let the guy with one amateur fight, boxing fight beat me. So I said, if you want to fight, let's fight.
Beautiful.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, the MMA fighters and stuff, I'll beat you. I'm like, yo, just stay in your lane, man. Just stay in your lane. It's different. It's different. Look what Mayweather did to McGregor. He just played with them.
Yeah, it's like a ping pong player challenging a tennis player. It's a different sport.
Exactly.
Okay, John, we're not gonna keep you long, man. But let us know if you're coming to Toronto. Let me know, man. We're gonna come down there and see you train and catch up with you, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I will,
That'd
man.
be dope.
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for your time, John.
All right, champ. Take care.
See you, champ.
And you guys can follow me on my IG, G Pascal Champ, on Twitter, G Pascal Champ, on Facebook. My fan page is Jean G Pascal.
Okay.
You got it.
Awesome, John.
Thanks, John.
All right, man. Take care. Peace.
All right, then, guys.
Bye. That was awesome.
Oh, so awesome.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
man.
he is.
I love his positivity.
That's how he got to where he's at.
Yeah,
to be honest,
and he really did look like a young smart boxer
look
in that fight against Brown.
Look what he's thinking about. How
beautiful.
He eats properly, he trains good. Yeah. He's doing all the necessary things.
You can't train
too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't. The way you trained in your 20s, you can't train the same way in your 30s.
No,
you got to be smarter. But he was smart in that fight too.
He was.
And in the first Kovalev fight where Jones trained him, that was a close fight.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. He did good.
Yeah, he had his moments, did good and he connected on.
Hey man, one thing
where other guys weren't connecting on Kovalev.
If you look at beards in boxing, Jean Pascal's right up there as one of the best ones.
Yeah,
like
it's perfectly trimmed.
But I'm talking about
his chin. He's got a great chin.
I'm talking about the chin like that.
He's got a great chin. He got hit even by Marcus Brown a few punches.
Those shots were so hellacious too, and I was just like, how did he not even be wobbled?
He's got a chin.
Look at Froch when he fought Froch, the bombs that were traded between both.
That was a great fight.
Amazing fight.
Yeah. That's when I first started hearing about Pascal too.
Yeah.
But wow, that was a good interview, man. I'm really happy for him.
We both are, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
I've known him for 5 years on the national team, and
he obviously respects.
He's a good person, and he's a good fighter. And hey, I know, man. Like this, he's still doing what we used to do as amateurs years ago. He's still training at that level, and that's got to be so commended.
Absolutely.
So, like
the mental,
he was able to keep doing that. I'm not doing it. I mean, I do still train, but not like that level. Training twice a day, you said?
Yeah.
Twice a day.
But he's doing it
6 days a week.
Yeah, but he's shortened now. Not as many days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Not as many hours.
Mm-hmm.
But with his experience and skill, it's there.
It's there.
So the training camp gets him in shape and fine tunes and puts the game plan together.
He comes here for.
We could get him for.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Because him and Troy always had a good relationship on the amateur story. He was never on because John was
Troy is older. Yeah.
Troy's older. Yeah. And he's an old man.
That's amazing. That was great to have him on. So. We're going to try now to ramp things up and get more of these guys. And we love...
Oh, yes.
And getting Canadian boxers. We got to have this Canadiana theme, too.
Some good boxers that are making big moves. We're all about that here. We want to get these fighters that are doing some serious stuff in the world of boxing.
Absolutely.
So there's going to be more of that. Oh, one side.
Yeah.
And guys, when we do our podcast, we don't ever discuss anything. We just come here and we just do it.
There's no real script. A couple guidelines.
We're just like freestyle for a while. I'll make you smile.
My name is Kyle. But that's something we'll have more of. We'll try to get some of these guys on. Maybe we can get Lemieux on here.
I talked to Anthony.
He won his last fight too.
Yeah.
So
he's been like the one where he didn't make in the way he got pulled out of the fight in Vegas.
Yeah.
But he had a hard time making the weight. Things like that. Yeah. We'll get him on. We'll get some good fighters on. I talked already. Antonin DeCarry. He's the president is Camille Estefan of Eye the Tiger, but Interbox. I think Interbox president is Antonin DeCarry. Anyways, he told me that he'll be able to. We can get Dave Lemieux on there.
We could talk about the Butte years as well, because Interbox promoted Butte.
Oh, you're a big Butte fan. That day you can wear your shirt, and look at my shirt today. For now, the greatest of all time.
We should ask Pascal about the Butte fight.
We didn't talk about that. But when he was talking about southpaws, I'm like, one of the best southpaws was Lucien Butte. he took that fight to Butte, but after Carl Froch got done with Butte,
he was not the same.
He was not the same
no,
fighter.
He wasn't.
Not the same fighter.
What else we got? There's another Russian fighter fought at 168 super middleweight the other night against DeAndre Ware. Did you see that fight? Nishkin, I think his name is. Yeah, and he schooled DeWare. He schooled DeAndre Ware.
Yeah, I think I seen this fight. This was
just the other day.
And it was
Friday night.
Are they and they're he's trained by Sugar Hill Stewart?
I can't
from
remember.
Detroit.
Oh, that's
Kronk. Is he a Kronk fighter?
Who? Where?
No,
Ware? The Russian?
No, the Russian. They got a bunch of another Uzbekistan. I think he's from Uzbekistan, and then there was a Russian fighter as well.
It's possible. It's possible. This guy was big.
We'll talk about this off air. I think they train with Kronk with Javon Hill.
Really?
Sugar Hill. That's Emmanuel's nephew.
Oh wow.
Emmanuel Stewart's nephew. Yeah. He trained with Donald Stevenson.
Wow. Well, this dude looked real good, and he wiped him. He won every round and then knocked him out.
If we can get him on this.
Who's that?
Javon Hill.
That'd be great. Get your old Kronk
get her
contacts.
Get her shirts on, eh? Kronk,
that'd be great. That'd be real good. So that was on the other night, and that's a guy that's now playing into the 168.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did hear about
Canelo. But he's only 11-0, right?
Yeah, he's still got fights ahead of him. But that makes it exciting to watch.
We watch the same fight, I'm sure. Nishkin, the Russian.
Yeah.
Where good. You know what? One thing I really like about Russian fighters, and they're well schooled, obviously, but they're well schooled on distance. Like they're in, bang, out, boom, in, out. Not just standing there fighting, boom, in and out, move.
And they're throwing a lot of the Russians. I've noticed two things with them. They throw their punches at the right distance at the end of the punch. Mm-hmm. They're great with distance.
Yeah.
And they also don't waste a lot of punches. You know, when they punch, it's combinations.
Some do look at Provodnikov.
Holy crap! Yeah, he's just he's like the Russian Rocky was a perfect
that's his nickname for him. Yeah, that was his nickname from Siberia.
Coming in with his hands down, Indian. Except in Russian.
See his face after fights.
After the Bradley fight,
ooh,
brutal.
Well, Bradley has suffered concussions in that fight too, and then he even said he was like, that would sway him to retire.
Remember, his wife was his manager, and after that fight, she says we're switching trainers. And when they went to Teddy Atlas,
that's right,
yes, too many punches, yeah, not enough defense, too many punches.
And what
talented guy though,
what
Bradley.
better guy than Teddy Atlas for Mike Tyson peekaboo defense?
Yeah,
which Bradley is suitable for that because of the stature he is. He could be. But Bradley's he's a good fighter, and not only
really good feet.
He's such a good commentator.
He's excellent.
Awesome. I love him, man.
All these former boxers,
Bradley and Andre Ward, when they're together,
they're amazing.
Just lovely hearing Andre Ward and Bradley, man. Both guys are awesome.
Roy Jones is good.
Yeah, Roy's great. These fighters, man. These former fighters,
they're awesome.
They've been in there and they've seen it.
Daniel Jacobson did a few fights too.
Daniel Jacobs
did a few fights, and he was awesome too.
Yeah.
So some of these guys have a great career, and of course, you can't leave out Paulie Malignaggi.
Oh, I love Paulie too. Yeah,
best.
I love Paulie.
Boxing commentator and mind out there.
I wasn't so much as a fighter, but as a commentator, I love this guy, man. He's good.
He knows his stuff too.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's good. Mine's by myself.
I thought your head was your smile was almost going to go off your face when you were talking to Sean. And he was talking about what a good fighter you were. I thought your head was going to explode.
Just relax, man. Relax. He knows, man. People know. People that were on the team with me, they know.
I know you were good, dude. I've always said it.
My level was there.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah, you just don't remember it now.
No, if I remember things, it's only boxing.
I know.
Stuff. I don't remember
and names too. You got a good memory for names, which is crazy.
Boxing names.
Yeah, that's the first thing that left me.
Yeah,
when I turned 50. So what else we got on the docket, young man?
I don't know how much time we have left.
We're good. We got about 14 minutes.
So
you want to... Estrada. Let's talk about...
Yeah, we can
Juan Francisco Estrada.
Whoa, what a fighter, man. And this fight was in Sonora, Mexico. That's his hometown. I think that was his first hometown fight.
That's possible.
Because he is now 40-3, 27 KOs.
Yeah.
And he stopped in the 9th round. Dwayne Beeman, who now falls to 16-2.
Yeah, respectable record.
Yeah, he did. Okay, a little bit about Beeman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start boxing until he was 26.
Whoa.
And being in the lighter weight classes, like your life expectancy is less than what it is for heavyweights or whatever.
Yeah, smaller gloves and more punches, more volume.
Mm-hmm. He started when he was 26. He turned pro when he's 30, and he was 33 when he had this fight with Estrada, and that's fighting for a world title. Commendable, very commendable for first of all, a smaller weight class fighter from the U.S., from South Carolina. When do you hear about a smaller black fighter from the U.S.? Smaller black fighter, never. It's very rare.
It's rare.
And actually, it's so rare that 7 of his pro fights were in Mexico.
Wow.
Because you can't find opponents
not in the U.S.
In the U.S.
Not in
and
Canada.
Not when you're a higher level, maybe at the beginning, but not when you're...
Right. Those guys usually have to go to the Far East. They got to fight Thai fighters or Japanese.
The Asian fighters, because generally those are smaller fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, like, for me, like, when I had to qualify for Olympics and stuff, look at the caliber of guys that are fought. Those small guys that all fight, like, they're all fighters.
You fought Redondo.
All these small fighters, man, they all can fight.
Well, Estrada, I remember he fought Chocolatito when Chocolatito was at his peak, too, and undefeated. Mm-hmm. And the fights were so razor close. Really close.
They were, right? They were, yeah.
So, and that's when Chocolatito was at his peak.
Yeah, he was at his...
Estrada's an amazing fighter.
Amazing,
technical
great,
and thoughtful in the ring.
Okay, one thing was, like, if you look in between the corners, in their corners, the respective corners, Estrada's corner, you look at Estrada, he's just like this, like, just chilling, like, just, like, breathing, like, like another day in the office, you know, and he's got no mark on his face, pretty face. He's getting, like, you know, do this, do that, come on, that's it. And over there you got Beeman, and he's, like, breathing. They're, like, he's like, man, I'm going to do this. And his coach, like, look at the difference. That's a professional there. That showed in that fight with the guy that only has that many fights. He was kind of outgunned, but he did good for himself because I watched that fight. Beeman did pretty good for himself, but just outgunned by a really good fighter. Estrada, like, you see him on the ropes, and he's like, he's doing these blocks and stuff and slipping shots. Then he's back to that Mexican stuff, boom, body. Then he's on the inside. It's very nice to watch.
I enjoy watching him fight. And he goes to the body really nicely. He's a real pro. He's been around for a while too, eh?
He's 40-3 and 27 KOs.
That's a lot of fights.
It's a lot of fights. I'm sure that's
40-3?
40-3.
That's an excellent record.
27 KOs. 27 KOs.
That's 50,
and you know that if you're a smaller guy, when you start going past like 12 fights, these guys are all good. All of them are good. Or 10 fights.
You know, I saw him. He was on the undercard fight in Macau, China, years ago. Mm-hmm. The main fight was that Chinese Olympian, Zhu.
She's so overrated.
Totally overrated.
So overrated. Estrada must have just took his head off.
No, he didn't fight him.
Oh, I was gonna
But what
say.
happened? He was on the undercard.
Oh
was
my
it Chris
God,
John?
are you kidding?
Does that sound
Chris John from Indonesia.
Right, I think that's who he fought.
It
was a really good fight because Chris John's a good fighter.
He had like 14 title defenses or something. WBA.
But Estrada, the way he figured things out and changed the game midway through the fight and took over and won that fight. I remember the commentators saying after the Zhu fight, they said there's a big difference. These got two guys that are in the same weight class. Yeah. There's a big difference in skill between these two guys. Yeah, they even said that.
Wow. And just like, not only that, then Estrada fighting in Sonora, Mexico's hometown. Then can you imagine the hostile environment? Can you imagine that the fans are like that fighting there in a stadium like that against a champion of that stature? How terrifying is that, man? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, good for him, man. That's going to be a good experience for him.
And this kind of can lead us into like the segue into my Kooner's Corner.
Yeah, let's do the Kooner's Corner.
I was going to talk about hostile environments like that, like just speaking on this fight, Francisco Estrada's fight, and in his hometown Sonora, and the crowd there. Just crazy. The environment. I can't even imagine being. Well, I've been in that situation before. I've been in 1996. It was a World Under-19 Championships in Cuba, Havana, Cuba.
Okay, that was an Olympic year too, I think.
Yeah, it was 96.
Okay.
That was Atlanta 96.
So you fought where?
So I fought in Havana, Cuba.
Oh, wow.
Havana, Cuba. So this is the World Under-19 Championship, and this is when the Cubans are untouchable right now. Like now it's totally different, right? Especially in the pro game, but I'm sure they were just like the gods, like Cubans and stuff. And anyways, so. The crowds there at the fights were just crazy, and I still hear a cowbell ringing in my ear. They always play these cowbells, and this one like beat goes do 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 do. They have a bullhorn,
and they're all playing it,
and they're all
the same tune.
The crowd. It was composed of all Cuban fans of Cubans people that were allowed in there free. There's no tickets. So it was all free. The crowd was crazy.
Yeah.
They had 3 rings throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
And then in the semifinals and finals, they put it 1 ring. So I made it to the finals there. I beat Russia in the semifinals in front of everyone. Then I fought the Cuban in the finals. And this Cuban was the same Cuban the year before. I went to a training camp. I talked about this before, I think. I went to a training camp in Cuba to learn from Cubans and learn like whatever. I went with Billy Irwin and things like that. Billy was fighting pro then, and he used to go there after his fights. He actually married a Cuban girl and stuff. Anyways, so I went there. I sparred this Cuban guy. And he ended up being the same Cuban that I fought in the finals that year in 96 in Havana, Cuba. And I just remember, like, it was like a scene from Gladiator. Remember the movie Gladiator? I was just, like, scared. Like, I was just, like, only scared because of everything that I heard about Cubans and now being Cuban. I'm like, man, this is pretty intimidating. But I'm like, you know what? Forget this Cuban. I gotta I didn't realize that till the second round, because the guys, like, he beat me in the first round pretty good.
Okay.
But then after that, I'm like, man, I could beat this guy. Forget that. And I just went after him. Lost it was 19-10, but whatever. Anyways, just like how Jean was talking about it, and how people say things, or if you believe it, you can do it. If you believe in something. So much that you're gonna accomplish it.
Yeah. I mean, you
not just magically. Like he'll bingo.
You gotta work. Yeah,
you gotta work towards it.
You gotta work it.
Yeah.
But if that's always in your mind, driving your workout, and then you just increase the odds that you're gonna win.
Yeah.
That's what it's about,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna do a short little did you know thing, and I was gonna talk about. Do you know why they change? See, do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why they change and what prompted the change from championship fights from 12 to 15, from 15
12,
down to 12 rounds?
Down to 12.
You remember what it was?
I know it was a particular fight.
Yeah.
that the reason why they made that change. And
you remember who the fighter, the American fighter, was?
I think it was Mancini.
Yes, Boom Boom Mancini. Good job. He fought the Korean,
right?
And
that's when he killed him. Dog.
It was. I watched the fight. It was a crazy back and forth fight. It was hot. It was outside. I think it was outside.
I think it was.
Yeah, and it was hot out. And I mean, these guys were going at it. And the Korean fighter before the fight had actually said, "I will fight to the death if need be."
Yeah.
And in the end, after taking so many punches, after the fight, went into a coma and passed away. After that, they said, "Let's change from 15 to 12 rounds." And that's why we now have championship fights at 12 rounds. Which some people have still died, right?
They still die, yeah. Right? They do.
But I think it was a good move.
I think it was. Those extra... I always say that, and I can't believe it. Like, these guys won 15 rounds.
Yeah.
An extra 3 rounds after you go 12 rounds. And now an extra 3 rounds. And I think, obviously, one of the biggest is obviously because of the fight with Mancini and the Korean and the death of him.
Yeah.
The dehydration.
That's
the
a big
amount of water
too.
lost is just those extra 3 rounds. It's hard.
Sugar Ray Robinson had a fight in like 90-something degree heat, and they say he was so dehydrated that he almost passed away. He almost lost his life from that fight.
Wow.
So, anyways, yeah, that's the 15 to 12 reason. And I wonder if boxing will still change when tragedies happen. You know what I mean? Because
right, because
there's been a few recently, but I haven't heard about any rule changes with these tragedies or anything changing really.
We can get into like a debate about this and stuff, but what are some precautions that they can take? I mean, make the gloves bigger. What do you do? I think it's always going to be prevalent, and that's in this combat sport like boxing.
in the you may know this, before the fight for the medical, are they doing brain MRIs?
I know, like, for sure a lot of commissions do it. I remember I had to, even here in Ontario and in Montreal we always had to, and in England we had to as well. I think it's standard that you have to.
Okay, that's good. I like that. There should be a brain MRI afterwards too, even if you're healthy. Mm-hmm. Because there are neurological signs that can show up on the MRI without having a physical sign.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a bad idea. Will they put the money, the expenditure to do
that's
it?
The thing.
I don't know, but I think it's a good idea. Should they change the number of rounds from 12 to 10? I don't think so. I think guys are training so well now that most of the top fighters look as fresh in the 12th as they do in the first. So I don't think they're going to change that. I think the refs have to be very educated on some of the signs, and I know it's a tough job when you're in the ring, but they got to watch how the guy comes out of the corner. Like, there's a lot of things to look at.
Add one thing about that? But my thought on it in regards to the refs and stuff is, I feel that if you boxed and you've been in the ring, not just like a few fights, you've been in the ring and you've had some fights and stuff and sparring, you know what it is, what the signs are. You're more aware you're more aware of those signs because you've been through that stuff too. And I think so. Referees, when they have boxing experience, they become like Mark Simmons. He's a referee in Ontario. Mm-hmm. He's a good referee. He's a good fighter and stuff. And they can see stuff that, hey, man, if that was me, I'd be hurt from that, and that would hurt me. Or
They understand the impact of a punch and the type of punch more than the lay person that's never been in the ring.
Yeah.
So who knows? Let's like, I don't want it to go where another fighter gets badly injured or hurt.
You know,
like, start thinking that they got to start thinking
what
about
are we
that
gonna
now
do
and prevent it.
I agree, but this is all that's going to happen. The cycle is going to keep going.
What about this suggestion? But I'm just flying off the top of my head because I haven't put a lot of thought into it. But let me put it out there. Where, because they're doing CompuBox, they know how many power punches, how many punches to the, even if they're not. Again, remember with brain encephalopathy, it doesn't have to be power punches. It's an accumulation.
Yeah, right.
What do you think about if they would, if you reach a certain number of punches that you've been hit by in the head, that the ref can stop the fight?
But that can be so subjective. Like, oh, did this punch score? Or did I hit him in the head? No, I think it did. I think he blocked it. No, he didn't. Right?
Yeah, so you're saying CompuBox is not really that accurate in your opinion too, right?
You know what basically sums all this up? Okay, let's just revert a little bit to the amateur game.
Okay.
They took the headgears off these guys.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the headgear helps the impact of the blow to take some of it off of it? Does it help with the cuts? Does it help with a little more protection than just a naked head?
Okay, so that's a really good question, and we've talked about this, and there are two camps from neurologists on this. So the one camp says, you've got this extra padding, so you have more absorption and dispersion of the force before it goes to the head, skull, and brain. The other camp says, well, you also have this extra weight on your head. That means, that the force of a punch, the impact's going to be greater movement to the head because you have this increased mass, right? Mass times acceleration equals force. So if you have more mass, you're going to have more head whipping because you have this extra weight. You also have, because it sticks out, you have a longer lever, which creates more head whipping. So is that worse? That's where but to be honest with you, from what I do know, just medically and stuff, my intuition and from the evidence is that the probability is the headgear is safer.
But the pros when they're sparring for a fight, are they wearing headgear?
They're wearing headgear.
They're wearing headgear. Yeah. Because it obviously does something.
But they also say, and
I know it's for cuts. I don't want them to be cut. Right. They lose out on a big payday. But also, it's like, you don't have going in the ring with abrasions and this and that and whatever.
What about the argument? There's an argument out there that not having that training from a young age with headgear, you're not learning some of the finite stuff about defense because you'll take that punch because you got the headgear, but without it, I don't want to risk getting cut. I don't want to risk getting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because I know the difference between the amateur and pro that I recognized right away was that the no headgear and the professional, and now you're more conscious of your defense. And you're always, you don't want to get hit, and you're like, oh no, it's not like, oh, I can get away with that, or
right. So you've been through that. Yeah. It's kind of like in hockey. If you have these hockey kids that are coming up, and if they play all the time, can you imagine if they're in the minors, they don't play with checking.
Right.
And then suddenly they get into the pros and there's checking. They're going to be lost, right? So you got to learn how to take a hit, learn how to avoid a hit at an early age. It becomes reflexive.
So you mean no headgear and amateur is kind of like
that?
Is there good arguments?
They're good arguments. So I don't know.
This really makes me think.
I don't know, but my intuition still says the headgear offers some good shock absorption. But I don't know, man.
The major thing is why they took the headgear off, and it's for everything equates to the common denominator, which is money.
You're right.
Take the headgear off. This is more appealing to the fans. Right. They can see. They can identify with the person, and he's like this.
That's why in the Olympics now, no headgear. Do you think it makes it? Do you think it's harder, or does it have any effect on if you're scoring a fight, a judge scoring a fight? Do you think it's easier to score? Punches are clearer without the headgear than with it?
No, I think with the headgear, because the headgear, it seemed like it was a scoring target, in the amateurs, Once you hit that I used to like hitting those guys with those top 10 helmets. Those are like those Like, you just want to punch those guys with those top. I don't even remember those top 10. But anyways, but they become more of a target, a scoring target. They hit that target.
But as a judge, is it harder to see contact when there's headgear, or it makes no difference whether it's
easier
right on
to
flesh
see
or...
when it's easier to see because it's a little bit more of a target
for the judge to see as well.
For the judge,
okay, good.
See.
Okay, so I don't know if it's a debate that's ever going to be solved. The fact is, there's risk. It's a contact sport. There's always going to be risk.
People know what they sign up for.
Yeah, exactly.
Sport. Like, you don't play boxing.
No. But it would be nice if, like, even at these 9 and 10-year-olds, they just, for the first couple years these kids are learning the sport, getting into it, just focus on defense.
Yeah,
rip
but
it into their head.
I disagree because you want these kids 9, 10 years old getting hit in the head?
No, but if they're learning defense by the time they're 13, 14, 15, where they're really getting hit, they're gonna be better equipped.
What if the kid can't learn and he's not gonna?
Yeah, but you gotta admit, what's easier to learn: how to throw a punch or how to make somebody miss?
Throw a punch.
Throw a punch is easier to learn.
I always say throw a punch. I can get somebody off the street, come here, and they can punch.
You'll teach them like a few rules.
Can they make me miss their head? That's the art of the sport. Boxing. And this is one of the...
Teach the art, man. Teach the
artist
defense. But we'll, anyways, buddy, we got to do, that was episode 16. We got to shut her down.
Yeah.
We got episode 17 coming up.
And then next, so I won't be around next weekend because it's my grandfather's funeral.
Yeah.
And I'll be going to Windsor and stuff. And then also near the end of the month, I'll be going on my honeymoon to Indonesia.
Right.
Chris John, we're talking about it today. I told her, I'm like, I want to go see this guy, but he's not even in Indonesia anymore. We tracked him out.
Was he living in Hawaii or something? Singapore? You should stop
Singapore.
over. So we'll come back So are you back the following week after Labor Day?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do episode 17. Plus, we'll have a few more fights under our belts too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, now they're talking about Canelo with Kovalev.
Canelo at 175.
Let's see that division is so hot. That's why it was great to talk to John.
Yeah.
And to see where obviously if you're a fighter, you can be like, hey, who's the best guys in the 175 division? Me. I'm the top guy.
Yeah.
I'm the top guy. You gotta believe it.
But and we've got Better Biev fighting again soon too, right?
Yeah.
So we got to see what he.
Better Biev. He's fighting Gvozdyk.
Gvozdyk is the hammer, right?
Yeah, and he's a WBC champion, IBF champion versus. This fight is gonna be.
This is sick.
Unbelievable.
This is what we're all waiting for.
It's happening in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Nice. I hear it's a good fight town.
Philly?
Yeah.
Philly.
It's not such a big town.
Oh, because you're a big Tevin Farmer fan.
Oh, God. I'm not, but he is a good fighter.
He's alright, man.
He's okay.
Let him go fight Tank.
I think there's a rematch also, by the way, with Hurd.
Yes, and Julian Williams.
I bet you Hurd.
Philadelphia.
Right.
Philadelphia.
And I bet you Hurd will have a different game plan and fight differently. He can't go in with the same game plan. So I think he'll fight better.
He has to. He has to.
Yeah.
But
that game plan didn't work.
But see how John was talking about mentally and how you gotta believe and all that. Julian Williams, that's what I really loved about him.
Oh.
And his drive, coming off the losses and everything, but he didn't quit.
No. And you could see he prepared specifically for Hurd. He looked real good in that fight, and his movement, Hurd couldn't deal with his movement either.
Yeah.
But so we got big fights.
Yeah.
This is awesome, guy. We got to wrap this up. Guys, don't forget to check us out, Doc and the Boxer. Give us some thumbs up, some likes. You'll see us on YouTube, Doc and the Boxer. You can catch us here on Spotify, Outcast,
and
Google.
We'll be more consistent with stuff, guys, when things get going. September's really the new year.
All right, my bitches.
Yeah, John Pascal, what a treat today.
He's the best, man. He's the man.
I love that guy.
He's our hero.
Hey, he's got to be one of the best fighters from Canada.
I think so.
All right.
All right, brothers, out.